pop, which is really nice. You want it to feel like a modern game, and those graphics were pretty outdated. I've seen playthroughs recently of people playing this game in the last 5 years, and they're trying to play the PC version from 2008. It just doesn't look that good. This looks so much better. Okay, the fact that Isaac, the main character, is now voice acted, and you get to see his face right from the get-go. He's not a silent protagonist. And admittedly, I'll say this, all the character models have been dramatically improved, except for a couple. It's weird. The one guy, Hammond, who's basically the commander of the ship you're on, looks almost exactly the same as the original game. I don't even think they really did much to his model. But then other characters like, what's her name? Kendra? Well, I forget the woman's name who's supposed to be the computer expert on your team. She's been completely redesigned from the ground up. Her face, her body, her attire, everything has been redesigned. Because I'll be honest with you, back then in 2008, we were basically on the tail end of the whole, I like to call it the Tomb Raider effect. What does that mean? It means that there was a time period in the late 90s throughout, say, the early to late 2000s, where every woman in every game had to look like a supermodel, had to have skin-tight outfits and big boobs. It was ridiculous. It was unrealistic. It was stupid, okay? But every game had it. You had to fit that archetype to be a female in a video game. I don't know why they did it, besides, trying to appeal to horny teenagers, and hopefully they'll buy my game if I have a girl with big boobs in the game. I don't know why having the computer hacker / programmer lead of your team look like that in the original game was supposed to sell copies, but it was true, okay? Now they made her look like a realistic woman. Thank you. Now it feels like a more realistic game. It feels like you're actually watching a horror movie as opposed to some stupid, over-the-top video game. But she's not the only one. There's other characters as well. Her name is Daniels. What was her first name? Because they some say your first name. Her last name's Daniels. Okay, I guess I'll call her Daniels. I always forget her name. I know Hammond, but I always forget Daniel. I forget everyone in this game. Nicole, your significant other in the game who you're searching the Ishimura for, looks way older. And it was hilarious because people were saying, even in the intro cutscene, oh my God, why does Nicole look like she's in her 40s? That's so different, and that's so unrealistic. I'm like, wait a minute. Think of the plot of Dead Space, okay? You have to think of the plot of Dead Space. You're supposed to be an engineer who's been working for the Merchant Marines and now works for, whatever this government agency is you're working for. You're obviously not a newbie. If you're on this mission, this important mission, you're probably a storied engineer. You probably have a lot of experience under your belt. Nicole is supposed to be a well-accommodated, well-accredited, well-respected doctor in her field. She's doing groundbreaking research on this planet cracker ship based on the things they're finding. Why would she be like a 20-year-old woman? It doesn't make sense. She should be older. So what they've done is they basically took the characters and they tried to actually make them look realistic. Why is it that in every video game, everyone has to look like they're in their 20s? It's stupid. Today, they made them look more... Definitely Isaac looks older. Nicole looks older. That's good. That makes it feel more realistic. Makes it make more sense as well. I'm totally cool with that. All right? Now, when you get into the gameplay of the game, all right, some other good improvements that I would say. The map is improved. The map in the original Dead Space was a 3D rendered map. Problem is, with Dead Space, there's multiple floors and things that link together, and that 3D rendered map got very confusing. A lot of the times you couldn't tell where you were trying to go. You couldn't tell where the doors were that couldn't open. This new map that they've created is a more top-down 2D map that's very similar to games like Resident Evil, and it makes a heck of a lot more sense. I'd say they really went out of their way to try to make it more manageable for modern gamers, rather than some, elaborate 3D map that's confusing, right?